computer. So welcome everybody to today's London to New York crossover with the Harmonic scanner live trading, and we've just had an alert from our friend Les, who can't be on at the moment. His daughter-in-law's having a baby, so we're just going to pull up Euraud JPY, which is good to go for a sell. And let's just mark the chart up. So be on the 1 minute. There's the scan. In fact, I've already got my long and short on, so I must have been looking at this earlier. I've been on with someone else. So we've got it under the 62, and it's just coming down to, I can see an old pitchfork running through there. I'll just pull up a bit more. There. So personally speaking, I will wait until it's just below that 120.297, doing a break and a retest. So that's what I'd be looking for on this one. But it isn't a fast downward momentum if we put a trend line on. Like that. I know Rob likes his trend lines.
Oh yeah.
Nothing wrong with a good trend line, especially if you like to fiddle around with them like I do. Right. So let me change my colour to green. And there it is there. So 10 pips. I'll put that horizontal line on 120, 300. So that's going to be 200. Would be 10 pips. I'd be looking for a break and a retest at that point. So come down and come back up to that white trend line. The green one is another trend line running across, so I'll take that off. You can see there's two trend lines there, but just so it doesn't confuse us anymore. So you're looking at an entry at 120.300 after it's done a break and a retest. And down. And if it carries on down to there. Just get that off. Stop loss of, let's put the settings on. Stop loss of 120.400 and a take profit of 120.100, but check it at after 10 pips at 120.200. So what have we got? We've still got strong downward momentum. The orange has crossed under the blue, and had someone coughing.
I'm not sharing your screen anymore.
No, because I had someone coughing.
Sorry, that was me.
Oh, was it? Sorry.
Andrew.
There's always one. There's always one. There we are. So wait for the break and the retest of the pitchfork. That's what I've would like to do. It's not covering quarter theory at the moment, so maybe look at your channel touch. I don't always use channel touches. Someone else has come on. Mute out if you can. So there's your channel at the moment. So if it comes down, touches that bottom of the channel and then up again, see what it does there. Okay, so that's the setup on EJ. So I'll put an alert on. Let's have a look at it when it comes back there. Oh, everyone's chatty today. That's it. Okay, so that's EJ. I was looking at some of the others today. Who's that?
Good morning.
Hello. I can't see who else that is.
It's probably John Williams. There's no mute icon.
Why is there no mute icon? Oh, I see what you mean. Hello, Zelly. Oh, there's one. Right. So let's have a look at. So there we are. Keep an eye on EJ. I was just running through the rest of the pairs. Is there any new scans this morning that I'm not up to date on, Brian?
Yeah, GJ finally nailed down its thing, and I believe you may not have updated your EJ. I think that repainted last night.
Oh, okay. I was just looking at that one earlier. Right. Nothing on Chef JPY, EJ. Oh, so is that the new D point?
Let me double check my chart.
That must be why Les has said it's ready now then. So my pitchfork's off. 1st of July.
Where's? Yeah, mine's like my time 8 p.m. last night, which is 2 in the morning for you today.
Yeah, that goes up there then. That explains it, why my chart is looking like it's not slightly ready.
Yeah, because my chart said it was good to go, because clearly now we know why.
Clearly now we know why. Sarah's behind with her bacon orders. Sorry about that, everyone. That's my fault. Let's go back to it then.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, well, it's moved now, hasn't it? So the problem with that is we're missing the entry, because there's the entry here. So we're already 5 pips down. So that's up to you guys. Normally I wouldn't be off it that when it's gone down like that, but if you want to, that's up to you. It's not quite to our strategy because we're working off that 10 pips to the 20. Okay. But that's what we're looking at on that level then is down to 30, about 35 pips, 120.000, 120 flat is the next quarter theory. You need to speak up sooner, Brian. Don't be shy. Sarah, your pitchforks are off. And there is that next pitchfork, an old one at 25 pips, 120, 100. So you might want to look at taking profit there. Okay, so I'll leave that. That's just crossing. In fact, that's just crossing that there, isn't it? I've got another pitchfork coming through there. And it's just coming through this old purple pitchfork there, which is good. You probably can't see it. I know you like to see all my lines. There's one. There, that purple one. So it's just broken that purple one. So that's very good. So thank you for that, Les. Sorry, my pitchforks are off, everyone. So if you are in that, that's still strongly down. So I've given you the profit ideas on that. So ask if you've got any questions.
Sarah, don't say ask if you've got any questions, you know I will.
That's all right. Brian's always happy to answer them.
Okay.
When I can.
I caught some of Les's session, which was really, really good, very thorough.
Yeah.
And I looked at the this Euro JPY as he was looking at it. I didn't actually get in because it looked okay to me, but I only put it on demo because I didn't have a chance to sort of have a good look. So I am about. I was at 5 pips up when you said so.
Yeah. Oh, good.
But I tried to put a fib on there as well, and is that I put it on just the upward trend before it
Yeah.
starts going down, if you see what I mean,
Yeah.
on your screen there, and it sort of worked because it retraced back a little bit, I think. No, it wouldn't have. No, it didn't. No, it what? No, I've got it wrong. No, it didn't
I
work.
would have.
There isn't anywhere to put a fib on that, is there?
Well, there's that little one there, that one there, just about high to low, back to slipping through, well, onto that 61.8. So on that basis, it's Les has just sent a chart. Let's have a look. Here's Les's chart. So we've got Euro JPY on the 1 minute. He's got the
Les got a fib on, yeah.
he's got the pitchfork there. He's put the fib on up at where's quarter theory? He's got the fib on 120. Let's have a look where he's got his fib. So I've put the fib on at 125. And he's got it just below there, 124.50. Oh, he's got it there. He's got it on that one. No, I can't see that. I can't see that fib. So 100 down to, he's got it on that long one there, that one. That must be that one. That doesn't. Oh, he's just put it on now. I think that's what he's saying. He's just put it on now because that's current price. I don't understand his. I can't see his fib, but because it needs to be down here, and that's current price, and I wouldn't normally personally put a fib on current price. So we'll look at the trend. The trend line is going up, and there's a break. There's a break and a retest, and also there, and then under the 62, and then you've got the break and the retest of the pitchfork there. So he's got the entry. He's got the entry here, just as the sell candle, the red candle, comes in there. And it's now down at 120.280. So he got in at 123.80. I can't see that fib myself because I would have drawn it there.
Fibs are kind of a
wait a minute.
sketchy thing unless it's really obvious.
Yeah, because
we got it covered with the trend line here, the pitchfork and the 62 EMA for entry.
well, I think what he's saying is we've got the 61.8 there, but it's because I'm doing it while we're live in the trade rather than beforehand or marking it up. So there on the upper trend is that break and retest off the pitchfork and under the 62. So there's the entry there, 123.82, and it's just coming back up to test that 62 now. But the fib for me, unless I'm wrong, is something like that line to that line there. Probably best to do it if he was on a call like this, and then so we've got a take profit at, it's just hit that take profit 1, because when we do put a fib on, if I am right, 1, 2, 3. So if it comes and hits that there and then carries on down that channel, you're good to go down to 122.15, depending on where your entry was. I'm going to take that off because I don't want any more lines on than we need.
Is there a TP point point at 120.000?
Potentially, yes, because that is the
Quarter theory.
quarter theory, the next level down. It is a sell scan, that's that next pitchfork, but you never know when these things are going to turn. And it's not a New York session pair, we're just still in that London crossover.
It's also bank holiday in Canada, so you won't get much action on Canadian pairs today.
Right. They're always on holiday, that lot.
Well, this is a messed up trading week.
It is, and I've got an old pitchfork here, this purple one. So, oh, what have I done there? That's horrible. There is a purple pitchfork just at 120.290. So that's where price has been stalling out at that 0 line as well, which on that entry from that pitchfork would only be 8 pips. So just bear in mind it's got to get through that. It did wick through it there, and it is still forming, although that's not, it's just about formed a lower low there. That is a lower high. And it's just touching that 62 at the moment. So the only thing that's confused me is trying to compare charts with this fib. There to there, there to there, but then it went back up to the 100%. So I'm not quite seeing the same thing on that. Because if it's come up to the 100% again, it's broken the fib to me. I don't know what you think, Brian. Normally I'd expect it to come up to one of these points and not to do that. Otherwise it's formed a new fib.
No, I think what he's done is those, the 2 double candles there is where his 100% mark is for his fib, and he just dragged it to the left.
So what he's saying is that if that's the fib down to here, the 0%, on number one, I wouldn't put it on current price.
Oh no, I think his 0 line is the red candle with the really long wick where his trend line goes up.
Yeah, but then it's the same issue that you were in yesterday, where the fib has to be past the present, because
Right.
this is a sell. So unless I'm wrong, you know, I'd be going down there, back to the reversal, up to one of these levels, and then down on the trade, not putting it back in time.
Yeah, that's why I try not to use fibs too often. I like my trend line. Seems to be, it works for me.
Yeah, that's moving quite well now, isn't it? Okay, so that was.
Anyways, in the chat there, Sarah, Justin Marlowe has a GJ trade he wants us to look at, and he's got it all marked up, so you can get him on and have him share his screen.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, let's do that. Hang on then. Let me just pull it up on mine. Don't think I'd got round to looking at that one.
And this one repainted overnight some point, so I don't know if you've updated your chart yet.
Not this morning, no. I was on with someone else this morning.
Yeah, so zoom out to the 30-minute or the hour and just do a quick check.
Okay, thank you. Just take this off.
yeah, it's a new scan in and around there. You haven't drawn it yet.
That's it. Okay. Whoosh. Bango.
Right, I can't see. Oh, Justin, I'll leave him on. Right, share screen. The settings. Just move that to green.
Justin said he has it marked up on his side, so if you just want to unmute him and
he's unmuted. So if I make Justin co-host,
and then he can share his screen.
Good idea. Okay, it's all yours, Justin.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. I am quite new here. I'm part of Connor's group, so I got into pitchforks from Connor. I've been at it a couple of weeks now. I just need to work out how to share the screen.
Yeah, I think I saw you on one of his sessions. So,
Okay.
yeah. Sean's session the other night.
Okay, yeah.
At the bottom of your screen, you'll see a green share screen button.
Okay, if I click this one.
And then it'll pop up another screen, and then you find your web browser.
Right.
There you go.
So this is a trade that I took, so this should show it. It's nice to get some confirmations from you guys, I think, that because I'm new, that I entered right and it was a good trade. So you see the green arrow at the top is where I entered. So there's a break and a retest of that pitchfork there, at least 10 pips. So then I got in about here, and it came down all the way down to quarter three, where I came out because, well, I didn't know whether to leave it or not. I chickened out, and I did my daily target already, so I thought I'm just going to come out while I risk it. And it looks like it's probably the right decision. I did notice on my trend line that I drew that it broke out of this trend line, but if you look, that was on the hour, so I believe that's a 1 hour fake out.
Yeah.
And then after that, it just shot right down to the quarter theory.
And in fact, what you've got at the moment, because GJ is a very fast pair, and if you get a good setup, then you can get your 50, 60 pips. It's testing the 62. So as it's a fast pair, it might be reversing quite a lot, but it could still be coming back down again. Right. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's finished trading that section, but you're right. You know, as Brian and I say, when we look at the trade sheet, have you got your trade goal of 20 pips? Have you got your daily goal of 25 pips? But you don't come into one of these fast pairs just to come away with like 10 pips. So that's a really good trade.
And I put a 15 pip stop loss on that just because I thought that is one of the faster pairs. Well, I think you scored it a 10 on your sheet. So
GBP pairs, we put 15 pips on.
Yeah, okay.
And it looks like if you got in at the green arrow, you probably needed almost well, not quite all of it, but you needed more than 10 for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So it did pull back. It looks like I got in maybe 1 or 2 pips just a bit too late. So I would have liked to have got in right off that pitchfork, and that would have gave me a bit more buffer in the stop loss.
The other way you could look at it too is you maybe got in about 7 minutes too early.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so the first, after the break and the retest, the first, the close of the candle and then the open of the first sell candle is what we, that's how chance does it.
Right, okay.
But if you did miss the first one, then yes, the second one, but where it's a sell candle, a candle going in the right direction for you.
Brilliant.
But yeah, nice trade.
How many pips did you get out of that?
22.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
no,
brilliant.
Not at all. So I thought I'd take it, and like Sarah said, it might be retracing up to come back down, but why risk it? It could just go back up.
Yeah, because if you do the other strategy where sometimes you trail your stop profit at 3 pips behind the 62 EMA, you would have just got wicked there right now.
Yeah, good point.
Good. And I also, once it got to 15 pips, then I moved my stop profit into +1 anyway. So it sort of became risk-free. And we just seen where it went.
Yeah, we usually do that after 10 pips, but I think that's where you get a bit of judgment, isn't it? Because as Brian said, you need to leave it room to breathe and keep it 2 or 3 pips behind the 62, and then probably if that would be me with a pair like GJ, I would have had my stop loss behind that pitchfork by a pip or two until it had moved down and retested that 62 and then brought it down. But it's such personal judgment, you know. I think it's just experience, because often I find myself getting stop profited out when I move them down a bit too tight on fast pairs.
Yeah. The reason why I waited for 15 is because I thought I've got a 15 stop loss, so let it go 15 and then move it to 1. And then theoretically, that should have gave it a bit more room to breathe with it being a fast pair.
Yeah, well, we just follow Chance's rules, you know, which is after 10 pips, so he doesn't take that into account, the 15 pips stop loss. No, it's always 10 pips, because that's 1-to-1 on 1-to-1 on the compounding with the 10 pip stop loss. So
right, but that's what
pips.
That's what Justin's done on this one. He did 1-to-1 because he's using a 15 pip stop loss for this pair.
I'm just saying, I've never heard Chance say that. He's never said on these pairs, therefore I put it at 15 pips. He does, you know, but then he's in a pip or two up anyway, isn't he?
Right. But as with everything,
anyway,
it's a judgment call most of the time as to when you move it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, nice trade.
But yeah, good job on that one.
Very good.
Yeah, that's right. I'll stop sharing screen now if I can find.
Yeah, and there should be a red button at the top of your window there that says stop sharing.
There we go.
Okay, let's just look at the chat. That's Justin, Brian.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, and then John asking if you've written up the rules yet.
Oh no, I haven't. I don't know what I do with my time, Brian. When you see me online at your time at 5 in the morning, I just don't know what I'm doing. So here it is at the moment. It's come out. Oh, you've got a later scan, haven't you? I haven't got the later scan on GJ.
Yeah, there's a later scan for that one where the high point is over here, just above the 15 EMA, right there.
Yeah, so that's an hourly, is it?
Probably, or an M30.
Right. I won't draw it on now. Then we'll look at some other things, unless anyone wants to see how we draw a scan. So let's.
How's EJ working out?
EJ, good question. Gone right back up. So it just hit the take profit 1 after that break and retest, and it's broken now. So that's finished, that trade.
I can't find that new GJ scan.
Try FX choice on the hour chart on the harmonic scanner. It's there. And then I just moved the D point up to the highest high because it hadn't redrawn.
Hang on with this one. It's above the 62. It's above the pitchfork. It's still forming lower highs. So it could be that it's testing this fib and then will continue back down. Personally speaking, once I am in a trade, I don't panic, and I'd rather hit the stop loss. I don't fiddle with things, because when I've fiddled, I've got in such a muddle, it's like shaking my head up. So at this stage, if this was me, if I was in this trade thinking, oh bugger, I'm now in drawdown, personally, I leave them. I don't fiddle with it, because I know on my compounding account, I'm still going to be okay. So maybe our error was to jump straight in without, you know, oh, it's ready to go, you know, kind of thing. It's best to set charts up and patiently make sure you're, you know, doing things right, because that does look like it's going to hit stop loss. It's going up quite a lot now, isn't it? Yeah. So sorry about that. And we were probably in a bit late as well, weren't we? Because I moved that back up. We were looking at it lower down, weren't we? On that one. So all good. Let's go. That's USD JPY. I've got an alert going off because I had that up there to look at. So this was one I'd marked up before the call. So USD JPY, I've got a break and a retest of the pitchfork, break and retest of quarter theory. It's just coming up to that now. So I put that there. I'll remove it to have a look at it when it came up to this point. That was my 1 minute trend. So I'd want it to turn back round and just come below that pitchfork again before taking that trade. So in terms of confirmations, you've already had the break and retest, 15 pips that went down there and back up. And it's just breaking, retesting there to the quarter theory. Let's move that out a bit. Wonder if I can move that trend line now. See if that.
We've had USD red news at 115. That could be that spike, couldn't it, maybe?
Yes. Yeah. And I guess the markets are going to be a bit weird from now, really. I haven't taken any trades today, and I wasn't going to tomorrow either, to be honest, as it's non-farm payroll actually tomorrow. So 115. Your time, 2:15 my time. Oh, you mean that bit there? Anyway, it's still in its downward trend, so, but it is above the 62, so I like the 62 to turn, personally speaking, but that would mean giving up 3 pips. So that's up to you. You've got the confirmations for a sell. Once you've got, you look at your candles. So that's nice, it's wicked off. So that is okay, except you are above the 62. So that's your call in terms of whether you, aggressive trader, want to take it there above the 62 or wait for that to curl round and you lose 2 or 3 pips by doing that. That's a judgment call. I'm probably quite conservative, you know, I prefer it to be below the 62, but it's tempting, isn't it? Because you've got 2 wicks off and the candles tell the story. So there's 2 wicks off there. It can't break above. So that is good for us in terms of this trade. Your 20 pips is down at 107.265. Entry at 107.466. It's just coming down from that to come below the 62. And stop loss at, it's got that slightly off. Stop loss is 107.566. Okay, so that's USD JPY selling. You happy with that one, Brian? Does that look all right?
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah. So we'll move on to something else. I'll leave that with everyone unless they've got any questions. Let's see what else we can.
Is that market now?
Yes.
Okay.
There's your sell candles just coming below the 62. So you've given up 3 pips to wait for it to come below the 62, 3.4 pips. Okay, and then you'd look at it, putting your stop profit in at 366, which will be 10 pips. There. So I'll put an alert on that in case anyone wants to talk about it at that time. Stop profit in. there. Okay, so that's USD JPY. And where are we going now? G Euro CAD. I didn't have anything on Euro GBP. So, oh, this one I marked up because I was waiting for it to come back up to a fib, but it didn't do that. It's shot straight up out of it. So that, and this unbroken white line is the median. So this one, I was discussing it with Matthew, who's in the States. He's one of Chance's students. We had an hour together this morning. And once it hits the median, you know, we found this light a bit confusing because we couldn't decide whether it was going to reject off or come on down, carry on in the scan. So we put a fib on, and sure enough, it's coming up to that 15-minute one. So once it's at the median, once price is at the median, it can be either a buy or a sell. So I'll take these off now because I would. But what I liked about this was obviously you've got a pitchfork and a quarter theory there and a sell scan. So I thought it might break through, but it didn't. So the trend, I'll take that off. The trend at the moment is this. Something like that. So you didn't have a buy trade here because it was too far. The 62 was too far up. Anyway, so there's nothing doing on Euro CAD at the moment. And let's have a look at GN, which I haven't. Yes, I did look at this, and I don't think I had anything on it earlier. Now, what's it doing at the moment? So if you break it down, look at your confirmations. We've got a pitchfork touch, but we've got it in this price trap. So although it's above the 62 and above quarter theory, that's two confirmations for a buy, and the orange has crossed above there. But we haven't really got a lot of, let me just do that. And this is a downward trend, so it's breaking that. So if this is going to be a buy, I'd want it to do that. Sorry, it just moved slightly then. Unless it changed, unless the trend is going to get steeper. More like that. And then you've got that break and retest up there. So in terms of confirmations for a buy, we've got the orange above the blue, that's a checklist for the buy. It's doing a break and a retest of quarter theory. How many pips? 6 pips at the moment, so that's not a lot. It's consolidated a bit. We've got lower highs there. If I show you on the pivots, we usually only use these for back testing, so that's still saying a downward channel, still going down, so it's kind of deciding whether it's reversing at the moment, I think. So if I put it on the 15 minutes, we can just look at what it looks like on a, I know we don't normally do this, so it's come down to the median, so that means it's, whoops, sorry, I hadn't realised I hadn't cleaned all this up. There we are. Take that one off. So it's respected all this pitchfork and the 62, failed there, consolidated along, respected quarter theory all the way along. So it didn't quite touch the median. Well, just about, just briefly there, I think. I don't know what it looks like on the 1 minute. So it seems to be coming back up towards this quarter theory at the moment. And GN is a fast pair. So just see where it did touch. How far did it get near to the median? So there it is over there. And that is, well, I don't really consider that a touch, but I don't know if that's me being picky. So it's quite a big, is it a big scan? From there to there. Oh, it is a big scan. That's 90 pips, so it is fair game for a buy anyway. So let's just come back down to that, magnify it a bit. So it's just dropping. I think it's probably just going to play along in this trap here between pitchfork and quarter theory at the moment. So I don't think there's anything interesting going on there. Just breaking that. Let's try something else. So GA. I marked that up earlier on. So it's done a break and a retest of the 1 minute trend. I'm in the green pitchfork going down. Break and retest of quarter theory and below the 62. But I didn't have a pitchfork touch there. So that wouldn't have been a trade for us there on GN. Let's save that. Find something else. Didn't have anything on USD Chef. We've got Canadian, we won't look at that. EN we've looked at. EA I was looking at with my friend this morning. Take that off. Okay, so this is looking very interesting. Euraud is, we've got a pitchfork touch and we've got quarter theory. We've got the orange below the blue. So I'm liking the look of this. It's a downward scan for a sell, but we just want to see that 10 pip break and retest of this level, this pitchfork area. So let's put our short position on there. Remember, this is a very fast pair. Let's measure that break. That's only 6, but it could move. And you've still got higher lows, but we've got the trend coming down there. I'll just magnify it a bit for us. So I'd like to see a bit more of a break and retest before getting into that. So ideally, I'd like it to do this, just, and then down. That will give you your 10 pips break and retest. So that's what we're looking for on here. I'll put an alert on, and we can come back to it. And there it is coming back up to that line. So if we go through the suggestions, you'd have entry at 1.62495. That's the alert going off, so I'll just remove that. 1.62, I've got 482 there. If wait for the sell candle, 1.62488. Don't get in on a buy candle, which is my blue ones. Stop loss of 1.62623. Could probably get away with lower because you've got 62 and you've got quarter through in the pitchfork together, but it is a very fast pair, crazy pair. Take profit 20 pips, trade goal 1.62281. Our favorite take profit level right down where there's a quarter through in a pitchfork, and this is a fast pair, that's 42 pips to 1.62000 is what we look to try and get. Doesn't mean we will get it, that's what we look. As you can see at 25 pips, our daily goal, you've got a stall out zone back at the left there. Okay, so look left to see what's going to happen right. Look what happened before with the lines of support and resistance. And there's your sell candle going down now. On that one. And we'll put a 1.62482, just so that you can see what we do. Add alert. Then if you are on your phone making a cup of tea, you know when it pops up what you need to do. Stop profit in. And now in terms of following your stop loss, so say your stop loss is there. Once you're down at your 10 pips, you're going to say to yourself, okay, then I don't want to give any money back to the market. I want a risk-free trade. I'll move it 1 pip into stop profit, i.e. there. But this is a very fast pair. You want to be trying to get down to that next level, or at least the 25 pips. So personally speaking, and this is where Brian's been talking about, it's a judgment call. I've learned that I'd probably put it at least there above quarter theory and the pitchfork, or just move it slightly to 3 pips above the 62 and follow the 62 down. And that's what I'm learning to try and perfect at this stage. So I would wait then for it to be about, as Justin said, 15 pips down, and then I'd bring it down to here and into 15 pips down. I think I would bring it to one pip, but I'd see how far behind the 62 I was. So So that's how I think about these faster pairs. And I'll just get rid of that. And we'll just have a look at the hull. So you can see this is actually our exit strategy. And you can see it's just turned to red. The bands are the 15 minutes, so that's good for us. That says the direction is down on the 15 minute. And then the 1 minute, 2 flips of the hull and we're out. So if you had a little short flip like that little green one, you wouldn't get out. You get out on the long ones. So if we were in this for a sell and you saw that long green one and then another long green one, you'd be out the trade. And that's how we use the hull as one of our confirmations. But remember, this is a fast pair. This is my favorite style of trading. Quarter theory and pitchfork together, a fast pair. In off that break and retest, I've got a good 10 pips there. I've got strong downward momentum on the 62 EMA, which is below the 15 minute, and a nice downward, very nice downward trend line. So this is looking good, I think. Okay, so I'll move on to something else, but that's where we are with that. You've had all the figures. So it's a nice one. Let me just, oh, hang on. Looked at all JPY for a long time. I think we looked at it this morning. Did I mark anything up on this? This is Asian session pair. Nothing on there anyway. And it's just, that's right, it's moved right out of that scan that I've got. It's into an older one now. Okay, so that's your, so this is the point at which you've got to decide how you want to play your stop loss to stop profit. So you can play safe like that, but this is a very fast pair and you're now below the pitchfork and quarter theory, or you can keep it 3 pips behind the 62, that orange line, and let that trail down. I'll take that alert off. So I've learnt to be a bit more like this rather than that, because I find if I do that, follow the strict rule, then I get stopped out. And with a fast pair like this, you don't want to be left with just 5 pips, 10 pips, or 1 pip. You know, you're looking for that 20, 25 pips, or 40 to there's 50 pips. That's what you're looking for on these fast pairs. So it is a bit of experience, and it is a judgment call, and I don't always get it right. I get stop profited out at 13 pips, 10 pips, 1 pip, you know. But I think this is what I'm playing with at the moment, is to stay about 3 pips above the 62 and let it, because you see that might want to come back up. Might want to try and force it. It's on the hour now, so we need to get off in a minute, but it might want to come back up and try and push up and test that 62. But it has got both those barriers to get through, those brick walls, to try and do that. But if it comes up there, and you've got your broker spread and commission, unless you're at least 3 pips above, you'll be out the trade on these fast pairs. And that's a lesson I've learned through bitter experience. So that's why I'm a bit cautious about doing that, just because it's moved the 10 pips. Okay, I think you need to be at least behind your previous high, and then you may as well keep those 2 walls between you and price. So we're out of time unless anyone's got any questions. I will trade tomorrow because you can bring your charts or we can have a chat. And I will do the session on Friday and Saturday mornings for 2 hours, but just on Messenger. I don't want to be on charts, but if anyone's doing some education and you've got some questions, I don't mind. I'm very happy to answer questions between 8 and 10 UK time, because I was getting quite a few questions last Saturday and I thought, well, I don't mind doing that as long as I'm not sat in my office chair. But I won't be taking any live trades tomorrow because it's non-farm payroll. I don't need to do that this week. Okay.
Sarah, could you go through the whole use tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Please, thank you.
Yeah, okay then. So that's all for today. I'll stop recording. Thanks for joining.